Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's IBM TV, Report TV, chess show, which is usually on Saturdays. My name is Sasha Starr, and I would like to introduce my esteemed guest for today's program. It's Grandmaster Alex Yermolinsky, three times US champion. Thank you, Alex. Welcome to the show. And Professor Ken Regan, whose opinion and knowledge of the rating system is absolutely second to none.
Yep. Thank you very
So,
much again.
hello, Ken. Welcome to the show. So I feel that I made an error talking about Carlsen getting a rating up to 3,000. Actually, I feel now that it should have been 2,900.
2,900. Yeah,
It should
I
be
thought
2,900 because
nothing on that
3,000. I think there is only one way he can make 3,000. Is some grandmasters, believe it or not, and chess journalists suggest that he is now so good that he can compete with Alpha Zero and Stockfish 14 or any other. And actually, again, you're quite skeptical about that. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I would be. I believe what the rating numbers say. And the thing is, Carlsen wins games sometimes by getting to slightly worse positions where he can outplay his opponent. But slightly worse against Alpha Zero is not a great way to be.
Mm,
Yeah, 2,900 I thought was really in reach about 6 years
yes.
ago and might be in reach again.
All he needs to figure out how to beat such wimps like Karyakin, for example, who is definitely playing for a draw with Carlsen. And after the game, he says, yes, of course I was playing for a draw. I don't want him to reach 2,900. So I knew that if I be able
Yeah.
to draw my game, he will lose 3 or 4 points. And so he will get thrown away from 2,900 even farther. So a lot of people can follow up the Karyakin's example, and it will make his
Yeah.
goal very difficult to achieve. Alex, what do you think?
Well, first off, about playing computers. Now, you're totally hopeless with the black pieces. You're going to lose every game. With white, however, there is a fair chance that with proper preparation and proper mindset, you can make a draw. You don't need to be Magnus Carlsen for that.
Really?
I do believe that. Okay, let's look at the ratings. If Alpha Zero is 3,500, maybe I'm wrong. Is that approximately the rating? Or?
Yeah,
About
that is about the
3,500.
rating.
Okay, fair enough. So suppose a player. Literally every player on this planet, Magnus Carlsen included, is not supposed to score anything against. The expected result is going to be zero. However, if you
4%.
suppose you tank all the games, you have the black pieces, you don't even worry because you're probably going to lose. But with white, every other one you can draw. Well, the computers, they don't. They probably with some tinkering, they could try to complicate matters, but you can more or less count on computer making good logical moves, and then the material is going to be reduced. And the margins, the built-in margins in our game of making a draw would allow you to escape with the draw every other time, I believe.
again, is it possible
Every
that
other time actually means 25% expected results. I would say that if you coax Evgeny Bareev out of retirement now and make him play Alpha Zero, he's going to be 3,000 player.
Mm.
He's quite capable of this. He's cynical enough to play for a draw, and he's skillful enough to do this. So that really has nothing to do with anything, I believe.
Alex, I will call Evgeny right after the show and will tell him your
That
voice.
in my opinion, he's easily a 3,000 player if he plays Alpha Zero for a living. If somebody pays him,
That's
reasonable
awesome.
money, he will map his strategy with the white pieces and he will score 25%.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could.
Interesting concept.
Yeah, what
But
you
it's
say makes
cynical,
sense.
obviously. We're talking about a player trying to play big game, like maybe Kasparov tried or Kramnik tried when he played the machine. But that was years and years ago. Now the attitude should be different. And it's just, if that's what you get paid for, to score one draw out of 4 games or 5 games, then that's what you go for.
Look, Alex, maybe Kasparov himself could score half a
He's
point.
probably not the right guy to do this because there's too much pride. I chose Bareev because he's free from such inhibitions. He's always been free from that.
Yeah.
I see. Very, very clever thought. I didn't think about that.
The cynical part is very important, to be absolutely cynical. You lose your game with the black pieces, you smile, you said, well, the computer is very strong, and then you prepare yourself for the next game. You go d4. What the computer is going to do? Like, not all of them. Okay, they can make some adjustments and make the computer play g6 against d4, but even that doesn't mean anything. Sooner or later, the computer is going to have to play a pawn to the center, then you trade on e5, and so on.
Mm-hmm. And you're right. The more I think about it, Bareev is just the right guy.
Perfect. No, I'm sure there are some other guys, but anyway, it really doesn't have anything to do with anything. As far as Magnus Carlsen getting to 3,000, it's impossible because he's good, but he's not that good to consistently score over 75% against the next guy. He can't do this.
But he was very close to it in the latest Tata Steel tournament. He
wasn't. No, first of all,
9 winning positions, or at least 7.
Was close to 2,800. A lot of guys were like Grandelius, who's a marginally good player, or whatever, like, no, there's no way. 2,900 is attainable, I believe, for Carlsen, but not 3,000.
Yeah, that's what I think. 2,900 is a turn.
2,900
would still be amazing.
He puts his mind to it. He can. What does he need to do in order to do this? So this guy's he needs to score like 70%. He can do this.
So you think that in near future he will be able to get to 20?
No, it's hard to tell depending who's playing because there are different 26-70s. The guys are there, they're already beaten by Carlsen so many times that they simply cannot play him. The best they can do is to use the Karyakin strategy. But younger guys, if they show up, while they don't have the history of losing to Carlsen, they're going to be real tough to beat.
You're talking about Firouzja.
Well, and whatever. There may be some other guys. You see, from history of this, imagine, Ken obviously remembers this fellow, Claude Bloodgood.
Oh, yeah, that's manipulation.
The thing is to create this close environment, and that in Bloodgood's case, it was closed by the prison walls. Yeah. And then you keep playing these people over and over again, and you beat them all the time. So if Carlsen manages to continue with this, only playing the same people over and over again, then for sure he would be 2,900.
Yeah.
But not clear, like if there's some other guys, then maybe it's going to be harder. They may not be as hopeless.
But it's a very interesting concept that Carlsen recently announced that his goal from now on is to make it to 2,900. And no other chess champion before him ever announced such goals. Anywhere from Fischer to Kasparov to Kramnik, Anand, nobody ever established the goal. And that's the only goal actually that he can establish for himself because he's won everything what there is to win in chess, except last Blitz and Rapid play. Okay, he didn't win that.
No, Blitz and Rapid, this is a lottery in many ways.
It's a lottery.
You lose your concentration over there and all that. I was going to talk about this when we come to Dubov. So we always have to talk about Dubov, right?
Absolutely.
No,
it's not all without Dubov.
Dubov now is the hot commodity. We always talk about Dubov. Ken, what do you say about Dubov? Is Dubov underrated? Is Dubov overrated? Is Dubov right where he belongs?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I did measure that he did really well. Was it the World Cup? Which did he win last summer? Or was it the Grand? No, what did he win last summer? I'm forgetting.
No, he won the World Rapid Championship.
Oh, the World Rapid. He won the World Rapid. Yeah. Yes. Actually, the World Rapid. Let me open up my spreadsheet of that. I think it was good, but not excessively good. Oh, shall I say? Let's see. Here we go. Here, World Rapid. Let's see. So
Not the
Dubov.
last one, the one before.
Oh, the one before 2019. You mean?
Well, probably. I think he won in 2019, right?
Okay. Yeah, I thought he won something more recently too. Was it the Euro?
Maybe
Club?
World-
He did really
Sadorov
well.
won last year.
Yeah. But anyway, he's clearly a mercurial player. I'm actually right now collating the Vicon Say, and despite his having COVID, his IPR was a little bit above his rating. So his rate's
So that means
2720. His IPRs were, let's see, 2760 there. This
2760. He never had a rating like this. Maybe in Rapid.
Yeah, he was over 2800. He was playing well in Vicon Say when he had to leave. So
Dubov at 2800. Pardon me. What is this?
well, quality, just my measurement. My measurement's got error
quality.
bars of plus
Oh,
or
yeah.
minus 200 though. So if I get 2832, it could be anywhere from 2600 to 3100.
But that's like 100 points over his highest rating ever achieved.
Yeah, well, I said he's a mercurial player. In other words, he has ups and downs, and the fact that he has some very high ups means he has potential.
Yeah, so according to you, he's underrated, well underrated.
Well, yes, so he's underrated then.
Of
But
course.
then part of this, of course, is his opening preparation and all that. I think if we start looking at Dubov's chess after move 20 onward, he's barely 2700. He's really not that good in my opinion.
Well, I can measure that if I can get collect my analysis.
It's
of
my
all of his
opinion.
games
Maybe I'm
quickly
wrong.
enough.
Obviously, I don't have the expertise and the equipment.
Well, remember what Napa said after the match. The only games where Napa could get any opening advantage is those lines prepared by Dubov.
Well, we don't know. It's not like their signature.
But Napa said so.
Napa says many things now. Napa, by the way, he talks. Well, yeah, it's good that he talks. He's not sulking that much, but he's going to have to prove that his tank in the World Championship match was a fluke.
Well, the candidates tournament will prove a lot of things.
Isn't he playing in Norway chess? Who's playing in Norway chess?
I have no
Norway
idea.
chess is before the candidates.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Do
sure.
we have the lineup for Norway chess?
No, I never heard about that.
I know we don't have the lineup for Kasparov's, Grand Chess Tour.
There is no lineup.
No, there is nothing.
You know
By
what?
the way, it's starting very soon. I think it starts on February 17th.
Yeah.
It's literally less than 2 weeks away.
So
And
where is
I
it going
know
to get
they
the
asked me
players?
to-
Everybody's busy. In the
Well,
different...
they asked me to write about this, but I mean, I will write whoever plays. But if it's, but I mean, last year was a disaster because people couldn't travel and they couldn't get equal number of participation in various tournaments. That's why the whole thing became bogus.
Wait, what? The whole what became bogus?
Grand Chess Tour. Don't you remember that 6 people couldn't make it to the United States for the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz,
Oh, yes,
followed
yes.
by the Sinkfield Cup?
Yeah.
So these players ended up playing fewer tournaments than Wesley Saw, who won it, and some other people.
Right.
So this whole thing, the overall race became total bogus. It was not
Mhm.
fair.
I know what
If you
you mean.
play fewer tournaments, just like now with Ding Lizheng and who's the other guy, and Draken. Even
I
if
think
they-
you're right.
on Drake, and why he couldn't play in this?
well, they say positive test.
Oh, I see.
And Ding, well, I don't know. They say he couldn't get a visa.
Yeah.
to-
He
to
didn't
get
apply
out of
for his
China,
visa
though.
in time, is what is said.
No, well, in time. Anyway, so what I'm thinking that I'm totally doing 180 with this. Sasha, you remember, and I said, oh, well, this online chess, it's just a temporary thing. It may be fun to play, but the real stuff is over the board. Now I have done 180 with my thinking. I think with all this COVID things and this random factor is too much, and I don't think it's fair at all for some players to starting with День Лежень. I mean, that doesn't make any sense now.
What to have in person?
Play for the
Maybe-
World Championship or anything because the guy may
Alex,
not be able to
But
come.
maybe they could get exception for Diniljan playing so-called hybrid chess, where he would be online, but there would be an arbiter next to him.
Look, listen, I'm not saying it. There's important details and all that, but my 180 now it just means this way. To me, if I were a 30-year-old 2700 player, the first thing I would do now is just completely forget about FIDE events and all this world championship stuff, and I would try to focus somehow, some way on online chess if I wanted to stay with the game. If I figured that would not be for me for one reason or another, then I would not waste one day of my life on chess anymore. And I would go to metaverse.
Alex, wait a sec, but there is a big issue. We've discussed it on many programs, the cheating in online chess.
Right.
No, that's
Yeah.
what Ken is there. I trust in Ken. We trust. Ken will make sure there is no cheating. So therefore, if I stay with the game, but Ken cannot help me to get a negative test on COVID every time I'm there.
Yeah, that's true. I cannot. I give you the math of COVID, but I can't help you get a negative
Well,
test.
so what can I do? Think about it. Well, think about me. I'm 30 years old. I have a wife and kids. And I have to make some plans. I have to make money, and it's like I prepare. I tell everybody, okay, fine. Well, don't bother me. I bring some coaches, friends, helpers, whatnot. I prepare for 2 months, and then I'm about to go and play this candidates tournament, and then bam, I get a positive test,
Oh my
and
God.
the whole thing just goes down the drain. I mean, what can I tell my wife after this?
And imagine if you have more than one wife. If you have two or three, it's even
Well,
worse.
yeah, you may have some other things where you cannot explain anything or be late with your child support payments. It's just not a reliable way of occupation these days. Simply, if everything hangs on this test, by the way, some of them, like in case with Dubov, may be administered during the tournament. I already did it. I was forfeited in one game in Mexico. I told you about this.
Yes.
They removed me and then they let me back in the tournament. The tournament was gone. What serious person can play chess under such circumstances? You can't. It's too random.
You almost have to pray before each tournament.
Well, again, like there are some other guys. Think about when they look for substitutes. Look at Wojtaszek. I know he's playing great. He nearly won the second game today. But
Mhm.
I mean, why is this guy even there? His rating is below 2,700 because he's close by. And he has this, he's always a yes man, very nice guy. Never
He
said
doesn't find anybody.
yeah, nobody hates him. And this guy is a career substitute.
Yeah.
This is it. And now they put this guy in there. Who knows? He may be in the candidates now. I mean, you give enough opportunities, and a guy like this can be there. Why is he there? Aren't there higher-rated players than him? They couldn't get anybody to come on such short notice.
So now it appears to me that a lot of things, who is playing and who is not, depends on organizers. It's no longer ELO system or any other criteria. It's just the will and preferences of the organizers.
No,
Is that-
well, yeah. And they look at this from practical point of view. Say, okay, the guy has the European Union passport. He can get there very quickly. He's not that far away. Like they said, oh, we could get Dubov from Holland to. Dubov didn't go back to Moscow with his COVID.
Mhm.
He stayed in Europe.
Right.
And apparently he drove, or they drove him to Berlin from Holland. I mean, are those things are really decisive now? Like where you happen to be at this moment, what sort of visas you have, and how many passports you have? Nobody can play chess under the circumstances.
And it's a big advantage for people who are in Europe, so they can drive, and there are much less restrictions when you drive
Yeah.
than when you're flying.
I mean, who knows? Well, with the number of these tests you have to take and they're notoriously unreliable, well, you only need to fail once and then that's it. You're out of this thing. And all the investment of your money and energy, your whole life you invest in this. And it's just not...
Well, not everybody is as brave as Ken when he took his trip to Italy.
Went to Italy. Yeah, that was a little brave, but
That was brave
important, I think.
decision.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, well,
I,
and you returned and you know worse for the wear. Yeah, you look good.
So
I feel in my Buffalo bubble a little bit out of the loop sometimes. It was good to make some acquaintances.
No, I'm absolutely serious about this, so no, that I just don't think that's... If you in there, by in there I mean a lot of things. You need to be a good player and high rated, and you need to be sort of an in crowd. No, I suppose friendly with Magnus, and
just feed
just
them.
generally, and not to be an offensive person and all this. Then maybe you can make it somehow, some way. But no, it's different. If
So
you are...
Alex, to be practical, there are now 3 recognized forces in organizing chess. Obviously, it's a FIDE, it's Magnus, and it's Grand Chess Tour. Although lately Grand Chess Tour is now sort of being deflated in some ways, right? So if you are practical enough and are friends with all 3 of them, or at least 2 of them, but better.
Well, then you're Anish Giri, who's basically, let's put it this way.
Mhm.
Well, everybody likes him. He's a nice guy, but, by and large in chess history, he is, a good player, but not much more than that. No, I wouldn't call him mediocre because the mediocre, is offensive and all that. But, who's going to be thinking of Anish Giri 50 years from now? Nobody.
Yeah, but
He just doesn't have it. Okay, fine. But this guy will play forever. In every tournament, he's going to be there. Wesley So can also do the same thing. So when a person is like this, and one important thing that they're not really threatening to beat Magnus Carlsen. Maybe in occasional games, but they're not really threats to him. So Magnus is okay with these guys because he needs the people like this to give sort of legitimacy to what he's doing in chess. But I mean, a random guy, for example, about Firouzja, I'm not so sure. Firouzja has some character issues. He may not be the friendly guy. Well, already this conflict with YKNZ organizers, which we all know very well.
Yeah.
Imagine if they try to forfeit Firouzja, in some game in the candidates tournament. It's going to be a huge scandal.
Yeah. Maybe he needs that edge. I don't know.
No, without that edge, you cannot become world champion. You just...
absolutely, totally agree.
So that's basically how it is.
Mhm.
Besides, now it's not only the player. Now, I want to ask you something, guys. When they started this thing with Dubov, they said one of his people and his people, whatever, tested positive, was sick with COVID. Who was that person?
His girlfriend.
A girlfriend?
Yeah,
Who's the girlfriend? She came from Moscow, was she?
yeah. And she was doing a lot of shopping while he was playing, and she's got some COVID. And
No, it's completely
got-
insane, of course, because more people you surround yourself with, the more chances that one of them will turn out positive for COVID.
yeah,
I wouldn't even take a bodyguard. I would rather take care of myself, let alone girlfriend, because more people around you. You can only travel by yourself. Coach is fine. Let him be on Skype. Girlfriend can also be on Skype. Let her shop online. There is Amazon for that.
it's much safer. And also online, you will get better prices too.
Well, that's true. No, nobody. If you still want to participate in this thing, then you take nobody.
I mean, you can always find local people for whatever reasons. if
You
needs.
can communicate with anybody. The local thing is like whatever, So this local guy shows up and says, "Oh, Dubov, I want to help you," and then next day he admits, "Well, I'm positive," and then you're in trouble again. You
Yes.
can't. You can't do well. The whole purpose, Sasha, how it was. Look at all these chess players since the time even before us. They did it for the lifestyle, right?
Right.
It wasn't just fortune and fame. They like the lifestyle. They always
Absolutely.
were surrounded by whatever admirers of both sexes, and all that. They hang out, they played cards, they drank together with some people. Now it's just completely suicidal.
Well, I think probably number one was a great Michael Towell. He
Yeah.
was he was he was
Bell
just
would not be able to complete one tournament if he played now because one of the people he was associating with, would turn out to be positive.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yes, yes, but he was a great. He was admired by both sexes and just
Oh,
all
yeah.
people around him. But he was drinking really, really heavily. It's just incredible.
I would never win a single World Open, if that was COVID over there. I mean, look with all these people, all my American teammates, plus Wojtkiewicz and Elwest and all this. One of them certainly would have COVID.
What's happened with this World Open, all those great Swiss tournaments? Are they still being held, or like what's
I,
the
I, I
Yes,
got
well,
the book,
yes.
Joe.
yeah? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Joe Benjamin sent me his new book he wrote together with Harold Scott about it's titled Winning the World Open. I contributed a little bit.
I have the game in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your game I saw, yeah. That's a cool book, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
What's the name of this book, Alex?
Winning the World Open.
Oh, yes, I heard about that book. Yeah, I have to get it.
I can show it to people. It's on the shelf.
Sure, yes, please do.
Hang on one second.
Yeah. Yeah. Be
Yeah, it would be
yeah,
interesting.
so.
Can do you have this book?
I have not actually bought this book yet. Yeah, but I should. Yes, it's. I have one game from the 1973 World Open. Wow, 49 years ago, or May 1974.
All right, I'm coming back.
So
yes.
okay, winning the World Open.
Yes.
Very
Oh, Benjamin
One time
and
Joe
Harold.
beat me to win the World Open. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He probably has that
Yeah,
game in
this
there
is all
too.
cool stuff. There are a lot of good quotes and all that. There even some. Well, there is this player index of names, which is very cool.
Wow, that's cool. Yes.
Yeah, so that's very nice. And they have the trivia. For example, questions. Which of the following is not a World Open champion? Now, multiple choice. Alexander Ivanov, Alexander Stripunsky, Alexander Onishuk, and Alexander Yermolinsky. So
I'll say you never won it.
No, the answer is D, of course, because my name is not Alexander, I'm Alexei.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's very deceiving because people always think about you as Alex Yermolinsky.
Which means Alexander, of course. No,
Wow,
look at all the great people, You open this page and you have great Nick de Fermian.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good memories. This is certainly my most favorite book. By the way, Joe writes more about the World Opens of the 1990s because, that's where he lived and breathed, this whole thing, like I did, and everybody else. He does give some accounts of the later stages. That's Joe himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's young there.
And what I liked, he put the pictures, like older pictures, the way we looked then, rather the way we look now. Now we look nothing but pathetic. At least I can speak for myself. Look at Lev Albert.
Wow.
Wow, he's young.
Young guy. Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, good stuff.
Wow, wonderful. I have my memories of World Open in Philadelphia. It was, I think, 1990. And I've played in one 15 minutes side tournaments, and I defeated Kamran Shirazi with black pieces.
Oh yeah, Kamran.
That was my
Mhm.
highlight of my career.
Yes.
I took a second prize in that tournament. So that was fun. It was fabulous tournaments, well organized. It was well over 1,000 players played in that Philadelphia tournament. I don't remember. I don't recall who won that tournament. Really,
Oh, I recall it very well.
there were
That
a lot
was
of
the
Russian.
Igor Glek year.
Who?
Then Igor Glek, when
Oh,
Sashkovsky dumped the last
yes,
round game,
yes.
and there were a lot of shenanigans going on with this no brigade or whatever. Or,
Yes,
he
yes.
uses a different term for this, but anyway, that was sort of a
Believe it or not, it was 32 years ago. Wow.
oh yeah. Well, 32 years ago, John Fedorovich.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's how I remember him. Yep.
I remember him this way. The way he looks now, I don't remember him. I
But
remember,
doesn't matter how people look now. Now I want to find Kenny. I want to find your game. It was somewhere in the
Early 74 against Powell, and maybe
Wow,
Joel gave my
I got
his
it right
phone
here.
number.
That's the game.
Yeah.
oh my God. Yes, I will definitely order this book right now.
Oh no, you
Right.
cannot do without this book.
Yeah,
This
King
is
D7, one of my better
know.
moves.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the Bible
okay.
of American chess. That's what American chess was all about.
hmm
You know, well, we didn't have a world champion or world championship candidates or whatnot, you know, but
I remember Igor Ivanov was playing a lot of these open tournaments.
Igor is mentioned, everybody's mentioned. Boris Kogan's mentioned.
Yeah, Boris Kogan, yeah.
Boris Kryman, Boris Gulka, you know, so no, whatever, everybody mentioned. Alex Scherzer, almost forgotten, he played so great at that time. He was very young and very talented.
What about Roman Dzindzhikhashvili? He was playing.
Roman's mentioned, of course, so is Michael Road, and no,
Wow.
great stuff.
Okay, I think we all should definitely get this book. At least I'm going to get it in next 10 minutes. And thank you so much for today's program.
Sure.
And I'm looking forward to next week. Ken, you will be joining us the following week.
The following week, yeah, not
But
next
next week we will have a double program. At 3 o'clock we will do English version, and in Russian we will do at 3:30. So it will be an hour long. I'm a little bit scared about the Russian part of the program because people, when they speak Russian, they becoming overly aggressive, opinionated, and fighting. But that's a risk I'm prepared to take.
Yeah. В
Thank you so
моем
much.
сайт у меня трансляция новых русский.
Yeah, Ken, actually, it will be interesting if you will listen to Russian version. Let's see how much you will understand.
Я знаю только 300 слов.
Yeah. Make some
Okay,
nice
Раз, два, три, четыре, up to 300. That's it.
thank you,
Okay.
Alex, and
Oh,
I really count on you, and I will see how friendly you will be in English version and how fighting you will be in the Russian version.
Well, maybe what I'll do is when I come on the 19th, I'll watch the show on the 12th and see how combative it was.
no, depending who you fight against. If I don't know, if you invite, for example, Krogius and Bukovsky and whatever, and Pastovsky, for sure it's going to be some fighting.
Aha, you gave me some ideas.
No, please don't. Please don't. We don't want any.
Well,
Let the bygones be bygones. You know, I really don't want
Maybe.
to talk about.
Also very
it
good
will
idea.
be during the Olympic show anyway. So
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to real world, Olympics and so on. Bye-bye, everybody.
bye bye.
See
Thank
you
you. Yep. Bye-bye.
next Saturday. Bye-bye.